restore your heart, prevent high blood pressure, the issues that we're having in our community, it's right in the home. And the primary healers, so it's a shift now. The women are the primary healers of the home,
Always been.
right? And when we can reestablish that and strengthen it, then our families, well, women will automatically take care of their men when they know how to heal. They automatically take care of the children. When children get sick, the women, the mothers, they nurture the children back. The elders, it's the women. So if you heal the women, you teach the women how to heal themselves. That's why I say women is so important. You teach the women how to become healers of their own home. Then they have dominion of the home, and the home is more in harmony. And so I go from room to room to room. So I'm teaching, and I'm so excited because I'm doing a supernatural detox. And I called up my friends to support me in this detox. And it's spring, it's a spring equinox detox. So Dr. Bernard Sheridan from Grace Family Practice been looking for the last 10 years. We've been, you know, shoulder to shoulder with Michael Becker from Agape. Is going to be there. Angela Rye.
Hey, my sister, my big sister.
You know, political activist, Lord Jamal, a legend, hip hop legend. Erica Badu,
Hey,
my spiritual
so
daughter, she's going to, oh yes, you know, about a green movement, a green healing. Also, Erica Ford, she's going to be standing, you know, front center piece as a lifestyle. And Supernova Slum, hip hop medicine man. Lloyd Strayhorn, Numbers in You, master numerologist. Koya Webb, a yoga master. Queen Esther, dealing with the moon cycle for healing the women. And vegan chefs, we have Sandra Lee and Chef Amira and Dr. Arisa Khan. He's a master of life. He's been there for over 40 years. And he's in Barbados. So when we have our virtual, we'll be in Barbados with him. Right? And when we have Light of the Moon with Queen Esther, we'll be in Ghana with her. So we'll be traveling from city to city virtually. I'm going to physically be in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm opening up a healing center in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a fasting and retreat center where one can come and be with me and I can just hold their hand and walk them through, show them how to do what I know and what I've been doing for 50 years. And so that coming together, I've never done anything like this on this level, but you have the holistic practitioners joining shoulder to shoulder, the spiritualists, Michael Beckwith being the agape minister and opening the way to have everyone say, I'm gonna walk with you queen on this one. It's just a pleasure, it's a joy. And each one of us has something special. It's not one healer, it's not one herbalist, it's not one Reiki practitioner. It's all of us that have to come together. And so this is the beginning of something great. And I myself, I'm coming from, when I started to study, someone wrote a thesis on me. For a PhD, and one thing she said that self-help started in the 60s. That's when I started. So I'm self-help, right? And that was the birth of that movement, and I needed that. And what I was forming is I was forming circles to empower the women who were not taking care of that. If in 2000, the book segment came out, there were 45% of black women had fibroid tumors. Okay, so life should get better because we're growing, but now in by 2023, 90% of black women have fibroid tumors. Now, fibroid tumors, if not addressed, it can lead to hysterectomy. And as women are getting hysterectomies younger and younger, some women are getting hysterectomies in their 20s and in their 30s. So this is a pandemic. We're coming out of a pandemic and we're going back into a pandemic that has not been looked at nor addressed. So that's when I come in. That's why I come in to teach the women how to establish womb wellness, womb care love, so that we can be independently well. And the whole energy of going home, even when the pandemic hit, they told everyone, listen, if you just have a low grade fever, go home. So people at home, they start pulling out stuff out of their homes, ginger and elderberry and getting sunlight and more plant-based living, and people had to start really living and learning how to heal themselves, which is my beginning, because I was so sick, and I talk about this for everyone. I had the allergies and the asthma and the arthritis and chronic fatigue and PMS and the headaches and all that, and I don't regret it, because of that, I'm so convicted. Nothing can stop me from this thing. I do healing 7 days a week. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm on a mission. And I'm on a mission to help as many black women learn how to heal themselves so that they can be empowered. So when the women cry on me, it gives me more energy and fuel. sacred woman is a paradigm shift. And the beauty of it also is that the women come from all spiritual houses. There are Muslim sacred women, there's Christian sacred women, there's Buddhist sacred women, there's Yoruba sacred women, there's Kemetic sacred women, Hebrew Israelite, they all come together on common ground. That common ground is to heal themselves. And I love the quote that Marcus Garvey gave, my father's a Garveyite. He said, up you mighty people, you can accomplish what you will. And I am willing us to run. And I'm going to live a long time because I have a lot of work to do.
Do we have a date for that, the supernatural?
Oh, yes, this supernatural, thank you. Oh, my gosh. This detox is March the 30th. So if those who want to register early can join and get 10% off. And everything is inside of this. It's March the 30th until the 27th. We're going to have a graduation. I hope you can come by virtually and just congratulate everyone. We're going to graduate because they're going to know enough in those 21 days to set up their home for wellness, to be able to be empowered to know what to eat, how to eat, what not to eat. They're going to check their families and say, okay, in my family, who has high blood pressure? Okay, I got to add the garlic to the soup. Okay, who is constipated? Okay, I got to add the okra to the soup. Okay, who has joint issues? Oh, I'm going to pack the clay on them. So every single one of the women or men, they're responsible for their family. It happened last night. I had an IG live, and a sister said, I'm going to go on this 21 day. And the husband was talking in the background, and so he said, I'm going to join my wife. I said, perfect. And then she said, but also my mother-in-law, she has arthritis and she has high blood pressure. I said, well, bring her into the mix. The video, it's already online, so bring your family into the space. And so the entire family, I see families coming together like those watch parties. And everybody in that family, there's one person makes the investment, but everybody come on in. Because then this is unlimited, and then they'll know how to make the food. Our chefs are going to be so extraordinary because what we're doing with the chefs is that we have a chef every week, we meet on Thursdays. And they will give them 3 master recipes, so they'll learn 12 recipes that are fresh and new. I'll tell them how to set up the kitchen, various herbs, your juicer, your blender, your strainer, all the things you need, because that's your pharmacy. And when you know how to work that pharmacy, I raised my children on that pharmacy. I raised a nation on the pharmacy, right in your own home. And this does not negate the medical field, because doctors are working with me and supporting shoulder to shoulder. And this we're incorporating. Actually, in Indianapolis, I'm going to be there for Juneteenth, and I'm going to sit with a board of 7 physicians to begin to incorporate more holistic practices in the hospital, which is my vision.
I want to ask you about holistic ways to bring down your cholesterol. I'm glad you mentioned blood pressure, and I'm glad you keep talking about heart disease, because those are big killers in our community that I don't think people are aware of. So what are some holistic ways to bring down cholesterol?
Well, I'm grateful mention of it, particularly for our men. Our men are dying primarily from heart attacks. And you know what it is? Because men don't express themselves outwardly. They kind of man up. Don't, you have a problem, deal with it. But women, we go in the room and we cry and we talk about it and we share and swap what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. So that hurt and that rage or that sadness or disappointment, it doesn't just fester in the heart. Because healing is not just physical. Healing is physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, financial. Everything is in that heart. So the heart attacks and the strokes is a backup of all the relationships that didn't work, all the disappointments, all those who promised it didn't happen. The heart becomes broken and wounded, but not just physically, emotionally first. I remember Dr. Africa said that. May he rest in peace, Most High. Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, our ancestors, I have to open up with that as well. That he said healing doesn't start physically. Before it gets physical, it starts emotionally. So that means if you start really tracking back your life and unraveling, you'll say, wow, so it was happened in 1998 when I was disappointed. And then what happened in 2000 when I broke up with somebody and never resolved the issue. And then it builds up until the heart can't take it anymore. So it's plaque. So we have to clear the arteries to the heart. And there's some simple ways to do it. One of the primaries I love is inversion therapy. Inversion therapy is an ancient African Nile Valley pose for bringing the soul back to life. But it's not just bringing the soul back to life, it brings your mind back to your heart and nerves. It's simple. Everyone can do it. And they can do it right now listening. Lay in your bed flat. Put 3 pillows at the foot of the bed, one on top of the next on top of the next. So then rest your legs over those pillows. That means the blood is gonna come down to the legs and down into the reproductive organs and into the heart. It's going to begin to dilate. So what we use it as a stent, maybe could prevent having that stent if you started to invert. And if you had a stent, so you don't get a second and third stent, and your heart are open and pried open, if you inverted, the blood would come down and begin to break up. But then most people are dehydrated. We're not drinking enough water. When I read people, I do energy readings, and I say, okay, I can see you're not drinking enough water, so 6 ounces of water in the morning, midday, afternoon, sunset. But then what can you add to the water to help break up the plaque more? You can add 2 limes. You can add 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. You can have warm water. Just simple things. You can have rose clover tea. You can just to flush and open up. You can also to open the heart is to take a healing bath. You know, I know men, they just quick shower done. But more than taking better care of themselves. They're going to the bathhouse, they're going to the spas, they're sweating it out, you know. And that is going to help to soften that plaque, because plaque is hard. Hardening around the arteries, when the blood has to go through, it can't get through, boom, that's a heart attack. The blood can't get to the brain, boom, that's a stroke. So if we can keep our stream of life, the arteries are the stream of life. If you can keep the stream of life flowing through your breath work, through your meditation, through your surrounding yourself in the bath is the quickest way to clear that up. So between the inversion therapy, allowing the blood to flow, taking a healing bath, allowing the emotions to balance. Water is an emotional stabilizer. So when you immerse yourself in the water, it's circling you and it's warm, it dilates, opening. That's why spring cleaning is so important. Because as we're coming to warm weather, the warmer the weather, the quicker the healing.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't want to miss out on your detox for your spring cleaning. Spring cleans, we don't just clean and change the curtains and the bedspread. We have to change our lives. You know, what happened when the holidays came and you were missing a family member who made your transition? You might have eaten too much because you're just stressed out and hurting and feeling lonely. You know, what happened during the breakup of a loved one? A lot of people yesterday were suffering. And I was on my IG yesterday, we had over 100, 200 people. And why were they on? Because they were feeling lonely. I said, you know what this is really about?
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day hurt people. It made them feel like they weren't loved, they were not cared for, they got more depressed. And I said, oh, this is a wonderful time to actually love on you, to take time for you, to actually rededicate yourself to a new kind of love, a love that will be appreciated. Because sometimes we have people who say they love us, but they harm us. They don't mean to harm us, but they've been harmed. You know, hurt people, but you hurt people. So with that, then let's have a new, this is, I call yesterday a reset, a redial, a realignment. Because if you can master and raise the frequency of your own self-love and self-care, then you will attract a mate, a relationship that will reflect that same energy of love. And that's the heart. The heart, according to our ancient African ancestors, a whole nation was based on the heart. And the heart is the scale. And on one side of the scale is the heart, and the other is the feather. We have to become as light as a feather. How in the world we become light as a feather with racism and social injustice and gentrification and hysterectomies unnecessary? So how does this happen? Well, I feel that but in my inner reflection, I say impeccable listening is the book that I wrote, Grassroots for the Fullest. But just to say that everything that has happened started from inside. If I can go inside to heal myself, then I can change my life. But if I have to rely on you to change my life, you may have a bad day and may not want to have that. But if,
I'm sorry, Dan.
yeah, but if I can know that I can go inside and I can do my affirmations, my meditation, I can see, I ask whatever question that you have in your soul, there is an answer right now. You just have to be willing to hear it. Because that question, when you get the answer, may say you might have to change. You might have to change your location. You might have to change that relationship. You may have to let go of some of those foods, some of those attitudes. There's going to be a shift. Are you ready for the shift?
That's so amazing you say that, because I feel that way, but what happens is you'll get that answer from that higher power, but you don't want to hear it.
See, there it goes.
So you don't listen to it.
You don't want to hear it, but then you have to come back to it anyway.
That's right.
You're going to keep repeating the same experience over and over again until you can say, okay, what is it that I need to shift? How quickly do I need to shift? And then make that adjustment. That, I think that's the power of maturing. In the beginning, you don't want to listen to anybody, but I'm just going to do it. And then you find yourself in a suicide mission. But if you can actually practice, it's a skill, it's a spiritual skill. But you have to have a good relationship with yourself. And if you just try it one time, ask something simple like, should I pick up this phone? And then just inner self, the intuition said, do not pick up that phone. And you pick up the phone, the person pick up, when you pick up the phone, they start cursing you out. And what do you say? I should have listened.
That's right.
You know? Or you someone you go to, you sign off, you can sign your life off, you don't pay attention, you can sign your own contract. Sometimes you just have to just take a moment, take a breath. Don't be desperate. Say, most high God in my life. For this, you take a breath, you take a cup of tea if you need. You create some little space, and now you from your soul. Because you don't want to repeat this cycle again and again. How many times you have to go down that rabbit hole before we can actually say, I got it. I'm going to pay attention this time because I want to progress. We want to progress and grow and become. The beauty of this 21-day detox, I am so thrilled. I call this the detox of the century. You know, I sent a text to Erica. That was like when first did I read it. I said, no, these are the ones on the list most high that to help and support me and show me this wellness for our community globally. And then I read this one, said, no, they're not going to be able to. And then I read this one, no, that, this one, yes, really? Okay. I went inside, I trusted myself, blew my heart. And I text her. And I said, can we have a green day, can you join me in the 21-day detox? And she said, okay, simple. And I said, all right, okay, you hold up, okay, go back. I need a picture for the flyer. She sent a picture. She's on bold, right now. And it was everyone responding the same. This was pulled together in 48 hours. When I was in LA just 5 days ago, it was pulled together. My team got it. Sometimes you can have a vision and nobody around gets. Only you get it. But when everyone heard me at the same time, I said, I'm on to something great. I'm in alignment with the divine. Not that it's not going to be, you can still have a challenge and be in alignment, but that challenge is something there to grow you and to groom you. It's not to work against you. So even when things are like the worst, it seems like the worst, I tell you that's almost how, what is this for? This is something that's building some muscle, some spiritual fortification. I have to prune something. I have to let something go inside of me that is not certain, that I'm unconscious of. So people will come they'll come as a reflection. That's how you overcome. You look at everyone as a reflection of where you are or where you've been. And they give the report card. So if you ask someone for support and help, they don't help you, you have to say thank you. Because maybe that is not the help you need. Maybe that will take you down that rabbit hole. And then you say, Most High, guide me in the right direction. But how can you even do that? How can you even you have to clean up. I said liberation through purification. If you clean up, then you will see where you have to go and what you have to do. I feel like I'm just getting started. I've been doing it for 50 years plus. And this is the gift of the Most High, that we can have longevity, that we can be fortified, that we don't have to live a life that's disease, and just because we get older, we can get more brilliant, more energetic, more dynamic. I don't want this for myself. I want this for us. I take us with us. And because I know that we're not an island unto ourselves, but we are one in spirit. And if we do that, we'll no more crabs in the barrel, no more jealousy. If you see someone blessed, then you should get excited because it's in your reflection. Like when I came, I said, oh, I said the Kings had their chairs. Well, why not? And I'm excited. So you said, well, you have your space. It's not necessary because you're my reflection. And I'm so empowered because of you. And this way we don't tear each other down, but we build each other up. And I know it's coming from the cleansing. And I remember during the pandemic, one thing that I did notice, that the women, sacred women, the women, wound care love, the women, they knew what to do during the pandemic. They built up their family's immune system. They knew what to avoid. They knew what to put in. They knew how to out. They knew the herbs to take. They know how to do the bath. They got their family moving and create. And I heard during that time, when I communicated with the women in my circle, or our circle, is that they started creating businesses.
Right.
That's what I noticed too. Some lost work. Some businesses closed down during that time. They became more resourceful than ever because they got more to, because like when the bottom falls out, how do you stand?
Okay.
You stand in the heights, and you have to now lift yourself up and now listen impeccably. What is my work? Where is my support? Where is my finance? And you start going in, getting up between the hours of 4 and 6 if you can. No alarm clock, just let the spirit move you. You get up and that melody power starts pouring out of you and you get direction. And journal it and write down the dates, the times, the places, the when, the how, the who. And then you'll see your roadmap. And your road will open up. The way is made and the road will open up. So this is a journey that's going to help to heal our family. My mission, one of the strongest missions, is to create a healer in every family. And with that, create a wellness home. Every home should be a wellness home. Where the kitchen is your healing laboratory, with your kitchen power. And the whole family gets engaged. The children, the teenagers, the little ones. Cut, dice, chop, juice, blend, tea, you know. And the bathroom is not just a bathroom, it's a hydrotherapy room. So in that hydrotherapy, you take your healing baths, you take your healing showers like a waterfall and clear your heart and clear your mind and clear your nervous system. You take your internal cleansing, you take your neti nose rinses, which will breathe from left and right brains, you have mental empowerment. And then your bedroom is where you do your regenerations. You have sex, but your sex will be sex that you love. And you'll create greatness. Which one of the things you do is you'll invert there. And you put your clay pack, your castle pack, if you have prostate block, if you have fibroid tumors, you'll know what to do. So when you're resting, you're in the surgical procedure of the Most High. So when you are sleeping, you're knitting. Because of how you're eating, the juices, the foods, the herbs throughout the day. When you rest, bloodstream, cleansing, liver, kidney, gallbladder, spleen. When you wake up, mucus is coming out your nose, your mouth, vaginal, anal. Waste is coming out, which we call disease, which oftentimes we have surgery because of all that waste plaque built up in the body. So in that, you wake up with another revelation. You're not dreaming anymore, you're having vision. You're having a vision quest. Ask the question before you go to sleep. When you, after having a day of wellness and then you did your hydrotherapy, when you wake up, the vision, the first thing that comes to that is really it. You'll see the roadways, the when, the how, the where. That is where I go for everything now. I don't really go to people first. I go to and that's Jah, Ojmare, Jah, God, Jesus. Just go within. But you have to practice that. We go outside. Everybody do everything for us. But when the power is you know it's in. And then you go in and then raise the frequency. Frequency raising is everything. I think about our people. Over 10 young people have been shot to death through violence in the street in the month of January. I said, okay, we have to raise the frequency of our family. Because I remember my children would go out and I would tell when I said, those who hang, get hang. You hang out, you're going to get taken out. I was real hardcore. You got a juice to clean and protect your aura, your frequency. If you eat dead things, you're going to attract dead relationships, a dead conversation, and maybe a bullet. So I would always say you got to clean up, you got to straighten up, you got to purge your heart, you got to purge. Don't go out in the world unprepared. That's why the home is the very foundation. It's so deep because as I was talking to my daughter, we was talking about, I have 9 aunts, 5 uncles. Now, most of them have passed into the ancestral realm. But we are forced in Louisiana. And but I remember before my aunts, my grandparents, we could not come into a hospital. So where were we going to heal ourselves? Home. Where did we birth our babies? Home. Who were the midwives? The midfathers? We were. We were. Did we have a vaccine book then? No, we were tuned in, just as Mother Harriet. How did she figure it out? Check the North Star. Her father's a herbalist. He taught her how to be in the bushes and not be heard, and what plants to eat along the journey, and how to be into what door do you knock on. You knock on the wrong door, you're going to get taken out. You're going to get hung. But that's really life. If you knock on the wrong door, speak to the wrong person at the wrong time, you can get taken out physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So the attunement that if we raise our frequency through plant-based living, through holistic living, through natural living, consistent. No, don't do a 21 day and I'm done. You're not done. I'm still cleansing every day. I have in my bag, I have my green drink right now. And when I finish, I'm hoping I get a sweat in today. The higher you go, the deeper the clarity, the greater the gifts, the more doors will open, and we will be such a frequency that no one will take us out. Not another one of our children, not our husbands dying prematurely, Not our women growing a tumor and having a hysterectomy. At times she's 40, 45, fearful for her life. I am in here right now and I'm fighting for our lives. Because sometimes I'll pick up the phone and a sister will be coming out from the doctor. I know she just came from the doctor because I hear a hollowness. She's on her way to her car. And that happens very often. And she'll be like, and it'll be a stillness. I said, what's happening? She said, the doctor said I need to speak. I said, how much time do you have? 30 days. I said, let's go to work. And so we just take out, and you got the food, you got the juice, you got the herbs, you got the clay pack, the capital pack. Wound care love to the fullest. One of our wonderful sisters, she comes in our IG live on a regular for wound care love, and she says, in 30 days, she was phenomenal. It usually takes a whole season. But she said, in 30 days, I dropped my father. They wanted to get used to it. And I was devastated on me. How much empowerment is that? What would she give to her daughter? She would empower her. She will pass it on. And that is how we will heal. You can either die out or you can live up. And so we're going to grow forward. And so I'm asking everyone, if you're the one in the family, then stand forward for this 21-day detox. I will pour information on you. I will give everything that I have. So when something comes up, you don't have to take it with you.
Where do they go for it?
Okay, well, what's the information that they can do?
wellkingfood.com. And you'll get a chance to see our product line. It's a part of it. For those who are stressing, just do a 7-day. So you get one of the sessions. Those, all that I mentioned, there'll be 2 healers coming every week to give you that charge, that empowerment.
Is it all virtually or?
It's virtual. It's all virtual, but I'm gonna launch it in Atlanta. Physically, I'll be there.
Okay.
That's gonna open up the center, but it will all be virtual. And then at the last part of it, the 27th, we're having a graduation ceremony. That's going to be in Brooklyn. So I'm going between Atlanta over those days, and I'll end up in Brooklyn because that was my day. And people are saying, Queen, did you desert us? I did not desert you.
I got one question. So with everything that you just spoke about, because you spoke about so much, you enlightened so many people. What's one thing that you want our listeners to make sure that they do? What's one thing that you say, if you don't listen to anything I say, but do this. What's that one thing?
Bring me the priest.
Commercial break.
There's a case that needs your attention.
Wow, it's supposed to between 2 things. I'm gonna go.
Oh, you can go 2. You can
I
go
can
2.
do 2. I have 2. Okay. Impeccable listening. That has been my treasure. Learn to listen from within and trust your gut. Trust your heart. When it comes, test it and then do it. You say, wow. You'll have some wow moments and say, it did work out. I know that's in the space right now. I know you've been listening because things don't come to you unless you tune up and tune in. That's impeccable listening. And I have a book that goes with it, Amazon.com. And then study with me. Before I leave out of my life, I'm going to empty it all out in us. I've had wonderful teachers, Dr. Johnny Moore, Empress Akweke, Baba Ishangi, Denard Blossaman. I had wonderful teachers along the way. And I've gathered information and I've put it in my life. This is my life's purpose, is to help to resurrect us from the dead, from the hurt, from the broken, and the wounded. So I say study with me. Come to my school. I have a school and it's concentrated where you can come to take the Sacred Women Retreat. 3-day intensive, 21 hours, gateway to gateway to gateway. And then you can unfold it. I have master teachers that have been with me for some years. Vanessa is one of them. She's getting on. Beautiful queen. And so they teach everything. Phenomenal. Well, that's her work, the beauty queen. And she teaches the beauty of a woman. Because that's medicine too. The beauty of a woman will open up some doors and will help you move through. So you have to use all your medicine. So that's what I say.
That's a good way to put it. Use your medicine.
It's all medicine. It's not just one type of medicine. It's all medicine. So taking sacral, and then in April I'll be having a Wound Care Love, a 3-day retreat. So when you were suffering from fibroids, heavy bleeding, but, you know, we had our graduation, for example, and the sister came right up to me, 60 women graduated in LA, in Sacred Women. She said, Queen, just like you said, 12 weeks in, I have no more wound pain. I used to have bedridden, pain-killing pain. And then my menstrual flow is no longer 8 days, it's now 3 days, and sometimes 2 days, no clotting. My tumor is shrinking. Yes, you're empowered. Yes, Queen, go ahead and do this healing work. And because if you have a healed woman, then you have a healed man.
I wanted to ask you a question, because you're in Atlanta now,
Well, I'm in Atlanta, but I'm also in Brooklyn. I'm also in, I'm in LA, but I'm on my way to set up, you know, this wellness center in
It's not
Atlanta.
open yet, she's about to open it.
And you
In
don't have to
March,
talk about this if you
March
want
the
to,
30th.
but I know that they were giving you problems in Brooklyn and shit.
Oh,
Housing
well,
at
see,
one
that's
point,
why,
right?
the house thing, the whole,
Let's put them on blast, if we need to.
well, I have to let me tell you before you speak. I will say this, gentrification is real, it's heavy, we all know that, right? And they're building on our bodies, on our graves, and they're building on our house. 20,000 families have been displaced in the Crown Heights district, brownstone. They've been through, you know, deed theft. They have various methods of coming in and taking over your property. So we've been in that house, my daughter primarily been, as I come back and forth. And this house has been in our family for 70 years, our home. That home is where Dead Commons, Erica Badu, Billy Levine, many of the greats have come to that house, because that was a house that my father, as a Garveyite, allowed me to come and do my work. It's 4-story brownstone, and 2 of those floors was for the healing, the fasting, the classes, and the food preparation, everything was from that house. So that house needs to be saved. Although we've been in court for 7 years, it's been a battle. So I'm halfway in the court fighting and over here with my people. So someone should just say, you know, go ahead, please just take it out. Because which one was that house? You gonna make it a house of no one? It will become, you know, that house that people continue to come to and be able to heal.
Are they trying to buy it from you, or are they trying to push you out? Like,
Well, all of that, you know, it was deed theft, it was a deed theft, situation, you know.
And that's happened a lot in Brooklyn. A lot of families own it. And it's like my grandfather had, my grandfather had a brownstone in Brooklyn, it's 4 stories. But the way they bought that house back then, it's in so many people's names. So it can
Yeah,
never
they switch.
it can never transfer over to the right people, and they know that. So they sit on it and wait for it to have like a outstanding tax bill or an outstanding water bill, and then they try to buy it for a low price and then sell it for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Happens a lot in Brooklyn.
And that, I went there with my horn and stood on the stoop, and, you know, I was fighting with my daughter to keep the house. So we're still in the house, and we're still fighting.
is there anything we can do to help?
Bob Law came in, and my daughter did an interview with him. He had studied the case, like a scientist, and she was able to track and see how it went from hand to hand, and sleight of hand, and, you know, it's in the system, it's systematic, you know, so, because it's so systematic, you can't get around it. So the house is like, they're not touching us right now, because there's been so much news on it and coverage on it, and it's just a sign of the injustice that's happened to our people. And my friend, Donna Fortune, in the very beginning, when this all started, she said, your femininity used as an example to help other girls. So I just have to hold up and keep it going. But, you know, I just came from the house, just now, and every time I come here, I go right to the house. And, so I guess that's where the base is. And my father is helping me spiritually, helping my family too.
I was gonna say, if you need anything, please let us know, because whatever we can do to reach our hands out and extend a bigger light, we will definitely.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't have time to cry today, so don't cry, okay?
Well, I wanna close out, I don't know if you have any more, I just wanna close out with a
Wow.
prayer. This feels so good, if you don't mind.
This is a prayerful affirmation. And gotta feel thyself, or if you can call this on you, the power to heal. I'm gonna call you this time, the power to heal, the power to heal.
The power to heal.
Is within me,
Is within me.
and I have the mighty power
I have the mighty power
to heal myself,
To heal myself.
For I am a healer.
I am a healer.
And I am healing myself.
And I am healing myself.
And all my relations.
And all my relations.
For all my relations.
For all my
Are
relations.
my reflection.
Are my reflection.
Therefore,
Therefore,
as I heal myself,
I heal myself.
I heal all my relations.
I heal all my relations.
And so it is.
And so it is. Ashe.
Hey, thank you so much.
Always.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And you can go to your website again,
queenoffood.com.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Wake that
Thank
ass
you,
up.
thank you.
The Breakfast Club.
That was pretty dope.
Try this strange 10-second
Okay.
technique tonight to reverse high blood sugar while you sleep. Most people continue to take blood sugar medications because they've been brainwashed by the
Wake that ass up. In the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have some special guests joining us this morning.
Yes, indeed.
We have Queen of Four. Did I say your name right? A master holistic healer and herbalist. And you have your son. You brought your son with you. Supernova Slot. Welcome, brother.
Morning, brother. Good morning. Don't forget polarity practitioner.
Okay.
Could you explain to people what that is, Queen?
That's all about the energy field, and primarily with the elements. They're made up of 5 elements, they're found on Earth, and so I'm able to focus in on those elements to heal the body. And the body is made up of nature, and there's those same elements in nature in our body. So when we're lacking that balance, then we have to do.
So how did you get to this point to be a healer? What got you here? Tell us your story.
Sure. I started at age 16. I was extremely sick. I was in the all-American fast food lifestyle diet. And I was asthmatic chronic. I had edema from head to toe. I had headache. Every month I was bedridden at the moment. And I had headaches and the things that were going on. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And I went on a healing retreat. It was a 2-day healing retreat at that young age. And I got off the bus without my medication. And the grass, the trees was like an enemy to my body, but I didn't know that I was so out of trees. And so I went into the space and the asthma kicked in, the allergies kicked in, the edema kicked in, and I was like a junkie. I was toxic, really. And I just heard that little voice talk to me for the first time, no habit. And it said, my first comment is grapefruit, cinnamon, orange juice, and I took some rose tea and water. And that whole day, that's all I did. And I sat up in front of the fireplace because if I lay down, my left hand come out. So I sat up, and in this fireplace is part of the medicine, which is heat from the fire. I fasted for the whole day. The mucus that was breaking off in my body was asthma. The next day I had a detox. I learned these terms later on, and I had a detox, and mucus came out my nose, my mouth, my eyes. And then an hour later, the itching stopped, the asthma stopped, my mind went to total balance, and I picked up a book. Came out of that bathroom, and I picked up a book with regularly, cooking with other women. I related to his 9 children, a husband and wife, a family who was healing, detoxing, fasting, and I jumped on it because that was the end of my asthma. That I went to the mountain, and it was the end of my asthma, and I never got it back. 50 years later, no asthma, no allergies, no, it's okay, and then I just helped everyone I could meet because I said, you don't have to be sick. I was convicted. And I went throughout my community with that same energy and started to talk to people in the street, in my family, and no one would listen. Because it's like I was saved. And I said, why are you suffering? It's your lack of knowledge. So I began to teach and educate people.
So initially, nobody taught you this. Like the spirit just told you, this is what you need to do right now.
Well, I was going to what's called Aquarius up in Harlem, 125th Street, and with Dr. Johnny Moore and other real prominent, powerful healers, metaphysicians was up there. John Harris was there, and I learned through them how to live holistically, naturally. It was in my community, and it's in our culture. There's always somebody who need the herbs, the bushes, the teas. But we didn't let us in the hospital. We had to live our babies at home, and we had to do things that were natural. And so that's what I had to then take up that mantle myself and heal myself.
Wow.
Queen of Food, this is so important.
And I think for women in particular, we've had a lot of conversations on this show about women who doctors tell them they need a hysterectomy, women, especially black women who have fibroids, women who are having heavy bleeding on their period, and their diet is so important. Can you talk about that?
Well, absolutely, and I'm going to figure out exactly what was going on. I read the women's menses flow, and women think they're having a normal menses. Well, normal is not healthy, and actually, women are hemorrhaging. And if a woman is bleeding 5, 6, 7, 8 days, or maybe longer, that she's losing her emotional and mental health. It is draining down through her blood. And so that same correlation of the number of days of the menstrual is usually a 5-year tumor by the time they reach 30. And of course, they may have it removed, and then it comes back 2 years later because they've never changed their lifestyle. So my goal when I take women to the sacred rites of passage, I take them for 12 weeks of cleansing, detoxing, learning about themselves, the culture, self-love, self-care, setting up wellness homes within their home, helping their families to heal. And then when they look at their menstrual, every time we have graduation, I said, how many of you have a menstrual flow now of 1, 2, or 3 days? And they'll 90% of the women are saying that. How many women have pain that used to be chronic but they don't have that pain anymore? All women say I have no more pain. So the pain, we think that it's normal, but it's not normal, it's a sick wound. But it's not just a sick wound, it's a sick heart. All the broken relationships, the broken promise, the hitting on lovers, all of that has impacted and affected us. So we eat the foods of the lowest frequency, and we keep the necessity of room pain, room discomfort. So I'm here to show women how to, and I do it in the first 100 pages of the book, what to do, what foods, juices, herbs, plants, prayers, meditation, exercise, like she's doing over here, how to empower yourself as a woman. It is extremely important for women to heal because the woman is the bedrock of the family. And I got real clear about that. I was reading one of the most ancient texts on spirituality from our culture, from Kemet, and it said the affirmation. When I did that affirmation in the room, it really did it. And the affirmation I said, it opens up the anniversary, it says, we are the women who lighten the darkness. We have come to lighten the darkness. It is lightened. We have overcome the destroyer. We're here for those who eat, who hide their faces, who sunk down. They look upon us then. We are the women. We are the healers. But if you don't have the tools to heal yourself, to heal your life, then you're going to be a woman, a victim. You're going to be beaten, you're going to be dragged, you're going to be in pain, you're going to be suffering. So I open up my heart and my arms to you who are suffering. And I understood why I had to suffer. Because once I got healed, I said, wait a minute. You mean we don't have to suffer like this? But it went even beyond us as women. It went to family. Because when women get well, they empower their families automatically. What is coronavirus? Second women, they know what to do. They're very confident. From the time March hit, it came, all of them rose up and said, okay, you should have heard, you should this, the bad. They took their husband to the cleansing, they took their children to the cleansing, they took their elders to the cleansing. My mother's 96 years old and she's still in her body. Vibrant mind and vibrant spirit and body. So we do have the ability to heal ourselves based on nature. One of my greatest healers was Dr. Johnny Moore. He was a master healer. He was 50 years in as a herbalist from up 125th and 5th. He's now an ancestor. But all of us went through him for herbology and just studied the plants. And he can look at a crack in the ground and say, that's the plant that you need. And he'll be able to break it down, what it was for. And the fact it was growing in front of your house, you needed that plant. He was connected to the elements, air, fire, water, earth. But when I started to study and develop this work, it's Sacred Woman, I had questions. I said, so where does this medicine come from? It's all holistic. They call holistic health New Age. It's not New Age. It's just always the mountains, the trees, the sky. It is ancient African teaching. So the women know. I tell them, I said, aromatherapy, African natural lifestyle. Massage therapy, reflexology, African natural lifestyle. Reiki, polarity therapy, energy work, osmotic head, sister to sister, African natural lifestyle. Color therapy, astrology, yoga, meditation. So I delve into all of that because that is our culture. So if we were to imbibe our culture, then we would not be sick. You know, 400 years of chattel slavery, it really did a number on us. And we're still in the cesspool of the sickness. So as Marcus Garvey says, I'm with him. Up, you mighty people, you can accomplish what you will. But you got to clean up this house. This house is the divine template that the Most High gave to us. But if we don't return to it, then we're going to be subjected to all the issues that we have as a people. We have the highest incidence of high blood pressure, men highest incidence of prostate cancer. I'm not better make it out of 50 years old. I buried about 5 men who were close to me, but they would not come into holistic health. That's where my son comes in. Because just as I'm doing Sacred Woman, I asked myself, I wrote the book. The men were begging me to write a book for them. The name of the book is Man Heal Thyself. I admitted, I kept saying, no, I'm not supposed to do that. I write tests for the women. I do the work for the family, but I'm not to do that. But I found that needed it, and I said, okay. So then I asked my son, it's been over 2 years, I said, you know what? I said, listen, I cannot teach men this. I need you to teach these men because what happens, women get filled up and you got sick men, sick husbands, high blood pressure, cancer, prostate cancer, they start to feel less than who they are, but she can give him herbs and plants and foods and clay and repair his prostate, lower his blood pressure, get him fortified. She is the healer of the home. We are the women. We are the healers. It is primarily the melanated woman. Everything is flip-flop now. Everything is now in our favor. You know, so now that it's in our favor, this is our destiny to be the mothers of civilization once again. And that knowing helps to build our self-esteem because so many young women, they feel less than who they are. So they're able to be taken advantage of on every single level. So this is a revolutionary healing for me. And because I was the sickest of the sick, I had to be chosen to overcome my issues so that I can help the women overcome their issues. So then when I get into the they say to me, well, you know, how are these young women, how do they come to you? Because it's nature. It is our nature to go to the elder women, young women. It's like to ask.
Let me ask you a question. You know, the people listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's so many people right now that say they are holistic healers, mental healers. How can somebody say, what would you say to somebody who how can you do something you can't trust? Because it's kind of like in every field, when it's something that's hot, everybody all of a sudden is it. Everybody does taxes now. Everybody does real estate. Everybody's a rapper.
But even fool a bit out there.
There's somebody listening, they say, okay, well, there's somebody in my area that says they do the same thing. How would you say that, they can check that?
Trust your gut.
That they can say that they really understand that these people are really trying to help me and not just trying to make a buck.
Well, basically, test their background through their testimony. You have to ask around. What did they do? How did they do it? How long have they been doing the work? How proficient are they in their work? But the first thing with doing that is your intuition. One of the greatest gifts that you have is that gut feeling. We all know that aha moment when something tells us, you can call that God, Holy Spirit, God, Jehovah. When something tells you, you have to practice, I call it impeccable listening. And every single time in my walk that I did not listen impeccably, I suffered the price. The Spirit said, don't sign that contract. And you sign that contract and you get down, you go down here. And then you have to go to recovery. Don't go with that mate. That he's not for you. He's the carpenter, he's not your mate. So we get confused because we want what we want, but there's a divine plan. It came out in 1969 for me. It was the creator has a master plan by Arizona. There is a plan for our lives. It's already laid out. That's when you can go to astrology, the numerology reading. Everything's laid out for us. But if we're not in tune and no one has been able to guide us, then we just go for the ocean, but we go for anything. We get hoodwinked. But if you get in tune, that's the most important thing. I'm not telling the women to follow me. Follow the divine in you. Once we do a fast and we do the cleanse and we do a detox and you clean up your home, clean up your heart, clean up the words that you speak, the thoughts that you think, just start cleaning that up. You can chant the new just true self. And you are magnificently clear and beautiful. And the Most High will guide you. I've watched these last 2.5 years of my life shift. It was a complete shift. I said, that's not. I every single day. I'm at the age that's old. Going to they call retirement. I'm going to fix up.
But you like 35. Come on now. Come on now.
Well, I do yoga.
Okay.
So they call me a master yoga. I developed the yoga, some of the poses, and that number represents the number for global transformation. So anybody who bear witness to those movements, they are transformed. The women are very drawn to these movements. But the movements, I researched these movements from ancient heaven. So when you go into the lotus hand, that represents the coming out of the mud, of pain, suffering, and you can still women now. Then when you do the red and that cobra, they all know the cobra. That means that you're working, you're waking up the first all state eye. And you can open it, take that finger there and take all the junk food and the fast food and the fried food and the flesh food and the past lives of anger and madness of these toxic relations that you have attracted and you have created, then you can see your life. And you can see the past of what you created, you can see the present of where you are now, and you can see the future of where you can go. And it's unlimited. The sky is the limit in this world because the sky is the limit. So that's the power that we have. And it's really, sacred healing is all about waking up that healing within you. So you can go to a healer and and they can help you and they can support you. But if you don't wake up that healing, it's like you got prisoner to the healer. Eventually you're gonna have to say, I can heal myself. My first book was written 35 years ago, maybe 40, and it was called Heal Thyself and Help and Longevity. I went and studied and I read and I got certified, but what did I have to apply? I had to heal myself. And healing for me is not just now, it's every single day. Every single day you're facing life. You're facing the economics. Right now, this president is taking people out. It's a lot of people. If he was able to tap into, look at y'all are healthy, some of y'all are doing some right things. And that's because your immune system is defending you. It is supporting you. Your respiratory system must not be clogged up because otherwise you would be in the studio. You'll be one of the victims of the situation.
You don't believe in the vaccine at all, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? This is what I did. I put the vaccine over here. And I said, it was all about my immune system. And I defend my immune system by not putting the fast food process of microwaves and all the acid food into my system, then my immune system is fired up. And also, your immune system is not what you're eating, it's also your appetite. So if you look at the bad news every day, you become the bad news. You got to create some news from within yourself. I'm seeing my people starting to become entrepreneurs. Well, we're being pushed to become entrepreneurs. And I know they call this man, what I told you, it's like, I call it this time, to retreat. And this is time, it's a quarantine. I said, first of all, don't say quarantine. The minute you say the word quarantine, you done lost the battle. You got to say, I'm on a retreat. So you're on a retreat since March, and you would have written a book by now, you could. But you waste your time, oh my gosh, I'm quarantined, I have to separate. Separate so you could think. All my writings came because I was by myself. It was me and the Most High, met my fasting and my juicing, I was listening, I was tuned in, and some angels came out of me because of that, what we call quarantine, isolation. No, you're never isolated from life. Life is always there. It's just what you do with that life that you have. And if we use every single day to heal us, we will have no problems. And one way to do it, set up your home. I teach people how to set up your home as a wellness home. Now that's heavy. There was a Dr. Benjamin. She mentioned something that resonated with me so deeply. She said, healing is not only done in your clinical system. She said healing is done in your homes and your spiritual houses. So I was always living that life. I was about that life. So for me, the kitchen is your kitchen pharmacy. So everywhere from the soups to the salad to the dressing to the herbs. You set that up, you're good. One lady was at my house about 2 weeks ago, and she said, can you have me one of those in my new kitchen? I said, oh, you want the pharmacy to be set up? Okay, these herbs, put the labels on it. I'll put the beans, this is the protein, then I'll make the grains, and then I'll put your herbs in that you're going to need to put into your food. So every time you have a soup or a salad, you have your herb. So you don't wait to get sick. You don't wait till you get sick to try to get well.
That's right.
You work to stay well. You well, then you got to work to get well. Because people think, oh, I did my 21 day, I'm good. You're not good to nothing. If you're in the road. No, that's to get you into the world. And once you get in it, then you got to be about it, and you got to live it every day.
But Singapore, let's take a step back because you came in here with the chopper this morning. You got the word. So I just want to take a step back and just add a little structure to it. Sacred woman, right? Sacred woman. It's a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. And then you've given us a lot of jewels already. But where does that healing begin?
So I'll take a moment now. Thank you so much for spending this much time watching and listening as I'm drawing. This is what I call a blank, and as I'm doodling into it, making different shapes to create the overall picture. I like to listen to something. Sometimes it's music. Today it is this interview, or these interviews, that a friend of mine sent me, and I'm so grateful because I found a great deal of information and even confirmation, because how I began my individual healing journey towards wellness is through introspection, like looking into myself and asking myself questions, and got a chance to connect with my intuition a bit more strongly. And yeah, so I'll put the link in the description if you would like to book a personal reading with me. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. And subscribe, not or. If you're not already subscribed. I've just figured out how to get my camera set up so that you can watch me draw and kind of see how my art pieces take shape, just based on what I'm feeling and what I'm listening to and all of the things like that, and helping myself create a little bit of asymmetry. It's one of the things with my art. This particular piece I'm noticing I needed to space it a little bit more differently because some of the sides are not quite symmetrical, but that's okay. This is what makes it an enjoyable activity for me today, as I'm spending time enjoying listening to things that enrich my mind and express my creativity. One of the things I definitely got from this recording was talking about cleaning up the home. I've talked about thrifty fitness being one of the things. It's like, yeah, you find something around the house that needs to be cleaned and you clean it vigorously. You scrub the floor, scrub some walls, scrub a pot, some dishes, move some furniture around, make sure there's nothing like sitting back behind it. That extra exercise, it's good. It's good for the body. Also learned something today that is evident in a practice that is evident in yoga, but I had not considered it. They were talking about how when you tighten your muscles, the hormones that are released are called like hope hormones. I'm like, hope hormones? Okay. But like, yeah, I noticed there are other times that I tighten the muscles in my body or what have you. And I was like, okay, so this is our art piece today. Feel free to email the pinkboxofhappiness@gmail.com if you would like to purchase this piece. It's the holistic medicine meditation. Let me put this here. So now I need to go find how to clean up this printer situation. Yeah, my name is Nicole. My friends call me Coley. I am the mom and shaman, and this has been meditation and listening. Hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.